So Joyce and I have, whoa, did you
Liking.
catch that one? We just left the Heron Lake dispersed camping area. I just took a picture of it. There wasn't much to it. There's a place to spend the night, and we stopped here at this little hole-in-the-wall place and have a choice between a burrito, which we really don't do, or a roll and coffee, which we did. And we're headed to another dispersed camping area near Taos, New Mexico, which is supposed to be a nice little touristy town, and we're gonna take a walk through it and visit. Well, we are in a parking lot in Taos, New Mexico. This was going to be a complete video just for this. We expected a lot. It's a real touristy resort area with shops and what have you. We drove in. The whole half the town of Main Street is being torn up. So it's bumper to bumper, and it takes about 30 minutes to get half a mile. We went to the town park. There's no parking. There's no parking anywhere in town. People, cars, amazing how much there is.
Yes.
So we said, okay, let's go to this Kit Carson Park, museum, whatever, closed. Going down a road to the Pueblo area, which is historical. Local traffic only, completely closed. It's what a bust this has been. We're just gonna go over to a grocery store, it's Walmart up the street. I hope it has a grocery store, and buy something and just go back to the campsite. This was supposed to be an afternoon in Taos, and then, you know, back to sleep, and then on the road again. So, first time this has happened to us on the trip, but, you know,
Hey, we go with the flow.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We do. It would have been it's running.
Okay.
Hi, folks. We're at a little campground in New Mexico. It's considered BLM land, but ironically, there's electricity and water. Price was very low. It's by a stream that we're not by because we chose a pull through because there weren't a whole lot of sites, and it was just to spend the night. We're having coffee. It's my second cup, and
My first.
some of the we had some French bread with dinner with the steak last night that we had that we didn't show you, and so this was left over. We heated it up and buttered it, and we're having that for breakfast. This leg of the journey is going to be very short. It was a kind of a lackluster sort of thing. We came here just looking for a place to park yesterday because we stopped very early. It was only about an hour and a half, 2 hour trip. We started off early in the morning, and we were going to go to Taos, which is northeast of Los Alamos, near the Colorado border in New Mexico. It was not good. It was packed with people. It was bumper to bumper traffic. So we stopped at a grocery store and we picked up a really nice dinner. We bought a steak and tomato and stuff, and we ate that. And we came back to the campsite. Now the campsite is nothing special. It's dry and it's small, decent bathrooms and stuff. But the upside of it is that we met a lot of really nice people. Across from us, there were 3 young guys, probably in their 20s, and they just met here, and they're just camping, and they had little tents and small cars, and they just spending a few days here with each other. And then a couple in an Airstream over here is waiting for the campground host to move on, and they're going to be taking his place. And she was a teacher, like I was, but I retired a teacher. She left teaching, and they're doing the not van life, camper life full time. How long did she say she was? Do you remember?
I think over 10 years.
No. She taught 10 years, but how long have they been living in their camper? A year, I think. A year, I think. She was an art teacher, so we talked shop for a long time in the state of education and the fact that the country's having 50% of their teachers resign and move on to other jobs. But it was interesting, like with anyone you share a job with, you kind of commiserate together, and you can share war stories. And we're going to be moving on, either in New Mexico or maybe up to Colorado. Still slowly weaving our way back because we've got some time before we need to be back. So, anything you want to say, Joyce? Between you chewing, huh? You all set? We are at Lathrop State Park in Colorado. Beautiful park, a little more expensive than the others, but that's okay. And we managed to get a site. They had a few open, and it's park. It's one of those parks that has a pond. It's got a little rec area. It's got a golf course just barely up the street in a small town up the street. Colorado's always been pretty nice, huh?
Yep.
Very good to travelers. Very good for travelers. They kind of specialize in that. And what did we do? We went
and got some hot dogs to have for supper, and we're gonna have chips and we just came back here and thought it would be nice to take a walk, and we did. And we ended up here at the reserve.
Yep.
It's a little rocky, so we're sitting on a rock, looking out at the water. And
that's why you're looking up at the sky, because we're sitting on the bank on these rocks. So we have to contemplate old people getting up in a second off these rocks.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. Well, we're at this pretty nice campsite, and we have some hot dogs, and I have some dill pickles. Joyce has sweet, and some soda, and we bought some chips. We never buy chips. We splurge for it. Because hot dogs without chips, I mean, really?
Yeah.
Is that even possible? So.
Yeah, this has been a pretty nice day so far.
The temperature is like 73 degrees outside, so it's really, really nice out. And you've been lying here in bed watching the Tomorrow War, and it started to rain. There was some lightning, and then it started to hail a lot. I've never seen hail like that. It didn't last a terribly long time, but boy, was it loud on this aluminum trailer.
Oh yes.
Joyce had her hands over her ears. I was just concerned that it might be big enough to maybe damage the vehicle or the aluminum of the camper, but I checked outside, and it's small. It's pea-sized, maybe a little bit bigger. So I think it's about over now, and boy,
it's still raining.
Yeah,
but it's It's not doing it as much.
So picture a bunch of marbles in a soda can being rattled really hard about an inch from your ears. We're glad it's over though. Wow, looking good in your Blues Brothers shades.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
It's a nice campsite. It's kind of like on an open area with a few trees, and there's a road around us, and it's just a dirt road to get to the campground. But there's hardly anyone here, so we kind of have a place to ourselves. We're heading to the Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado.
Oh, yes.
And there is a campground there, but just on principle, like this no services campground, it's the one that's like the dry camping was $37.
Yeah.
Usually they're like 23, 28 at the most.
Oh.
And it's okay. We don't worry about that. But when we get there, there's a reservoir which supposedly doesn't have a whole lot of water in it, with a dam that you drive over. And on this side is the official state park campground, and on the other side of it is some dispersed camping. It's supposed to be pretty nice.
Yeah.
So we're pretty self-contained here. We have a battery that lasts like a week and a half. We got 2 days use on it since we've been plugged in. And we might go and take a drive over to the other side
and see how that
I don't think there are any facilities there.
Well,
we have the bucket. We have the Lugabaloo. So
yes.
we can manage.
We can manage.
So there's no rush on this because it's only about an hour and a half away. So, if it's dispersed land, we can get there when we want. No one's going to care. We'll be there in no time at all. So what we're doing is we're trying to hang a little bit in Colorado because we toured Colorado one year. We came down to the south and we just did Colorado.
Yes.
Which we don't usually do state. We usually travel from one state to the other and see a lot of stuff. But we just did Colorado. We went
everywhere.
We rode down these god-awful cliff roads and in a canyon. And that was really something. That might have been a mistake. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because Joyce was looking out the window and there was no ground. Straight down.
Yeah.
You could see cars going along the edge of a cliff going down like in a switchback. And we've been, to the cities. We went to, Colorado Springs, the Olympic Training Camp. We went up Pikes Peak, which was here.
Yeah.
And the canyons and the dinosaur things and all that stuff. As a matter of fact, we even realized by looking at a dot on our map that we had been to the sand dunes, which we were going, but we just sort of stopped and took a look at them. We didn't camp there, and we didn't stay there. We kind of drove by and took a look and then moved on. So it was very short-lived. And we're not ready to head back east yet, so it looks like Colorado's going to get a few days of our time.
Yeah.
Anyway, enjoying the coffee.
Yes.
way to the Sand Dunes National Park, and it's really flat out here. Joyce, it's sand.
Yes.
Lots and lots of it. From the Great Sand Dunes National Park, we found some BLM land. All the campgrounds are booked, full, reserved, and the main road is out there. And there's a lot of prairie. Looks like there's some weather over there. We hear some thunder anyway. But if you look around this side, this is the area we're facing. And we have the canopy up. We're gonna have to pay attention to the winds because, like I said, look over there. And as usual, there's Joyce.
Hi.
So we're sitting down here with a couple of Pepsis, just like in the middle of nowhere on public land.
Yeah. Hi.
We're hearing some thunder,
Yeah.
and
We're wondering if it's going to start raining or something's coming.
yeah, might have to close the canopy up and close up the back doors and head inside eventually. Depends. We'll just keep an eye on it. So anyway, we are, like I mentioned before, we're at the Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado. We just, went down to see them. We saw them before. There's really, you can see them from the balcony, and then there's a little tour that goes around a loop. It has nothing to do with being near the sand dunes at all. There's some placards to read. This trip is more of a camping trip, traveling camping trip. Like even this, the dunes, we've been here before. We've seen so much stuff over the last 12 years.
Yeah.
And 80,000 miles. That it's really hard to find anything monumental to see again. There's always lots of small areas like this. But we just wanted to do some camping, and this time around we wanted to do more public land camping, BLM and dispersed camping. We've done a little bit of it in the past, but we thought we'd really just like to, be a little more wild about it, and less state and national park campgrounds.
Yeah.
And we have been.
Yep.
For half a minute anyway.
Yeah.
Well, no facilities, no bathrooms, no water.
We have plenty of Pepsi though.
We have plenty, and I have 4 jugs of water too, folks. And we've got the Lugabaloo.
Yes.
Yeah, Joyce's
my
new
favorite.
friend.
Yes.
It actually works quite well.
Yeah.
I touted it in another video showing some things for camping, and you use a double small trash bag, and cat litter or sawdust. We ran out of sawdust, so we bought some cat litter. And how you doing, Joyce? This lady is so game. So I'm taking you out in the middle of nowhere, okay? Okay. I'll make you something good for dinner, right? Okay.
Yep.
And I get here and it's dusty and we're in a prairie and how's this? You go, yeah, it's all right. So everyone should have a lady like this.
We do stuff together.
So. But in the end, she gets to call the shots. If she said absolutely, she said no, I would move on.
Yeah.
But
and it's really pretty out here,
Once you get set up and it's your spot, and you're looking at those mountains, or even if you just had prairies or whatever.
Yeah.
It's nice. We don't get skies like this in Maine. Everything is really open here, and the clouds just seem much more ominous out here, like, you know, something wicked this way comes. They actually look dangerous. Now that cloud right there it looks like it's going towards the mountain away from us, but there's some stuff over here that hopefully it'll trail it. But we're starting to get a little bit of wind blowing the canopy around. And we know that stuff here can come up really fast. So Joyce and I have, did you catch that one? Joyce and I have a battle plan for closing out that actually works, you know, pretty good. It's extremely quick. We took down the canopy and closed things up really fast because the wind started to come up, and the canopy just, while I was putting it down, it was trying to blow the camper away. How you doing, Joyce?
You're good.
This is an adventure. I'm gonna go step outside for a minute, okay?
Okay. Be careful.